Okay, so I was playing yesterday Conflict, and it was really fun. But in 90 minutes of playing, I barely got to Sergeant. And a few days ago, I was playing and I didn't even make it out of Private. And in that match, and some of you who watch the video can confirm what I'm telling, I helped a commander set up a Russian 50 cal machine gun. I spotted for him, and there was a gun in the BTR for about 20 minutes. And I damaged 2 enemy helicopters, and one of them had to crash after that. And all I got was Corporal. No, not even Corporal, Private in that match. I think that's the problem. It's basically there are two components to that restrictive system. It's the rank loadout system and the personal allowance. And I think the personal allowance is even worse than the other component of it because it artificially limits what you can access early in the game. And like it shouldn't be like that. Like I had one absurd situation where I was driving. I wanted to drive southeast from Province, and I got disoriented, drove west around the lake, and I was at an isolated base. An enemy Mi-8 started strafing it with rockets, and I had a truck driver kit. I had 4 magazines of M4, and no vest or nothing. And I wanted to get a machine gun from the armory, but I couldn't get it because they don't have the points for it. And some people think that's a good system, but I think there's two problems with the argument. The first one is, like, people who think it's a good system, they should try to do something that the current reward system does not reward. And currently it rewards shoveling to build and capping stuff for the most part. And also, before somebody says supply driving, in both of the matches I mentioned, I was driving at least one full supply truck with supplies. And the second match yesterday, I was driving the Humvee with a larger capacity for stuff to a frontline base, a mobile spawn in a tree line. So players who think that's a good system, they should try to do something outside of the stuff or things that are currently rewarded by it. Because then you will see the limitations of the system. Like, say you want to, at the beginning of the match, drive off with a Humvee, set up at the choke point with a machine gun and just wait, or get a tripod with a machine gun, which you cannot buy early on. Or perhaps you just want to put a landmine somewhere. And some people think it's a good idea, like this. You have to perform this ritual of proving that you're a good person. So later in the match, every single match, you get access to better stuff. And I refuse the entire concept. Like I shouldn't have to. Like there's no moral duty to cap or to build with a shovel. It's something nice if you want to do it, but I don't see it as a necessity to be allowed access to other gameplay systems. And I think some people, I think most of the feedback that led to those limiting systems, at least some of it is, I think it's, the underlying motivation is pathological. Because some people have, they get excited by denying other people what they want or forcing stuff on other people that they don't want. And if you look at the feedback around supply system, there's a lot of it. Like there's this mythical player who wastes supplies and that's why the game is lost and it's not fun anymore. And I think it's exaggerated because not everybody's wasting supplies all the time. And second, a lot of people who claim supply waste will just claim it to get back at somebody who didn't do what they want them to do. Let's say, for example, that, I guess, infamous thing where I took like 70, 80 rifle grenades in a backpack. What I'd like to do when I take a large amount of rifle grenades, I set up in a defensive position on a high tower next to a base, and I just wait, and I spend like 10, 15 minutes just using binocular scanning in a 360 arc for approaching enemies. And then I start mortaring them grenading them at 400 or 500 meters. And sometimes I fire 20 grenades and hit only one guy. Sometimes the return fire gets my characters to respawn and a lot of grenades are wasted. But I call it opportunity cost. It's not wasted. It's just, you moved into position, you tried to use it and it didn't work out. It doesn't mean it's wasted. And the other argument is, the game is not fun only if nobody wastes supplies. Because nobody says, oh, the game was so much fun, nobody wasted supplies. Because I think that's an absurd argument, because in most situations you cannot tell if somebody wasted supplies, because you can't see other players' loadouts except for the gun and the backpack. You cannot see what happens 500 meters away from you. You cannot see what happens in other bases that you're not physically present at. Because the game currently feels like it's a sandbox, but players are desperate to deny other players on their own team access to sand in that sandbox. So it's like in a sandbox where everybody's sand is rationed away. And I don't think, like, from a time perspective, why would I have to prove myself that I'm responsible with supplies every single game? Let's say I have only 1 hour to play. Then I'll never ever get access in that match to a suppressor or a vehicle or helicopter.